here to break down setups, debate track conditions, and recap the weekend's action. But today, even after a full weekend of action, the racing world is standing completely still. On Thursday, May 21st, we lost Kyle Busch at just 41 years old. It's a shock that the motorsports community is still struggling to process. Literally days prior, he was in victory lane at Dover holding the checkered flag in the Truck Series victory lane. In his post-race interview, he said, "You never know when the last one's going to be. It's impossible to grasp that we've lost a guy we all expected to be out there competing for wins every single weekend for years to come." Today, we aren't just looking at the statistics. We're looking at the life of a kid from Nevada who grew up to completely redefine what it means to be a modern day racer. To understand Kyle Busch, you have to go back to Las Vegas. Born to Tom and Gay Busch, Kyle didn't just stumble into racing, he was forged in it. By the time he was 6 years old, he was driving a makeshift go kart around the cul de sac of his family's neighborhood. But it was the Bullring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway where Rowdy was truly born. By 13, he was racing legend cars against grown men. He didn't just compete, he dominated, racking up 65 victories and 2 championships before he even had his driver's license. He was a prodigy in the truest sense of the word. By 16, he was making his NASCAR Truck Series debut for Roush Racing. He was so fast and so young that NASCAR literally had to rewrite its age limit rules. By 2005, at just 20 years old, he won at Auto Club Speedway, becoming the youngest Cup Series winner in history at the time. From there, the history books were rewritten. Between his time at Hendrick Motorsports, his legendary 15-year run at Joe Gibbs Racing, and his final chapter with Richard Childress Racing, Kyle amassed an untouchable 234 National Touring Series victories. He was NASCAR's ultimate polarizing figure. He embraced the booze, thrived on the pressure, and demanded absolute perfection. But beneath the brash exterior was a pure, unadulterated racer. He embodied a philosophy we talk about a lot on this show. If there are race cars on the track and money being paid, everything should count. Kyle raced every single lap of every single event, from a Cup Series crown jewel to a Tuesday night super late model race, like it was the most important event in the world. He captured 2 Cup Series championships, and we will never forget his 2015 title run. After shattering his right leg and left foot in a terrifying crash at Daytona, he missed 11 races, and most drivers would have called it a year. But Kyle came back, won 5 races, including the Brickyard 400, and hoisted the championship trophy at Homestead. It was one of the greatest displays of grit in the history of American motorsports. Kyle never forgot where he came from. While other Cup drivers spent their weekends resting, or their off weekends resting, I should say, Kyle was at the short tracks capturing prestigious grassroots victories like the Snowball Derby, the Winchester 400, and the Oxford 250. He also poured his heart into the next generation. He built Kyle Busch Motorsports from the ground up, turning it into a 98-win powerhouse in the Truck Series. He gave young, unproven talent the equipment and the ruthless, honest mentorship they needed to forge their own paths. Drivers all over the garage area owe their big break. to Kyle's investment in the sport's future. But if you really paid attention over the last decade, you saw a profound shift in Kyle. The fierce competitor remained, but the man off the track evolved into a devoted husband and father. Alongside his incredible wife, Samantha, Kyle showed a vulnerability that surprised many of his critics. Together, they openly shared their painful struggles with infertility and IVF. And out of that struggle, they created the Bundle of Joy Fund. Over the years, Kyle and Samantha have raised millions of dollars and awarded countless grants to couples who couldn't afford fertility treatments, helping bring dozens of children into the world. That was the real Kyle Busch, a man who used his massive platform to quietly change people's lives behind the scenes. Our hearts are completely broken for Samantha, their her children, and Kyle's brother Kurt, and the rest of the Busch family. But it is especially devastating to think of his 11-year-old son, Brexton. Over the last few years, Kyle's favorite role wasn't the Cup Series champion, being a Cup Series champion. It was being a racing dad. Seeing Kyle at the dirt tracks, turning wrenches on Brexton's karts, spotting for him, and guiding him through the ranks showed the softest, most genuine side of him. He was actively building the next generation of his family's legacy. And there's going to be a massive, quiet void in the garage area. It's been announced that Richard Childress Racing is temporarily shelving the number 8 car and saving it until Brexton is old enough to drive it. It's a heartbreaking yet beautiful tribute to a man who gave his entire life to the sport. As we look back on 234 wins, the legendary burnouts, and a career that simply will never be duplicated, we are left with nothing but profound respect. As you take your final bow holding that golden checkered flag, we say thank you, Kyle, for the excitement, the battles, the unmatched intensity, the memories, and most of all, for the greatness. You will always be remembered as a loving brother, son, husband, and father, but now also, forever, as a legend. Rest in peace, Rowdy.